Okay guys, so on my last tutorial video, it was a Khmer 20 population Archer Rush, and I posed the question, is this the fastest Archer Rush in the game? The answer is no. A lot of people have let me know that this is crazy 15 population Archer Rush for the Khmer, which is what we're doing now. So it's very much all in, an all-in tactic. I'd probably say it's an advanced build order. But it's your usual start, make 2 houses with your starting villagers, send them to sheep, and then your next 3 villagers will go to sheep, giving you a total of 6 on sheep. So yeah, it's just an absolutely crazy build order. I'm doing it a bit differently this time as well. So rather than just doing it against the AI as I normally do with my build orders, I'm actually doing it in a 1v1 game, so you can actually see some competitive play in this video as well. This is a ranked 1v1, and it's against a player called Sam5. So the 7th villager is going to come and lure the boar, and then the next 2 villagers after that are going to go to boar as well. So yeah, it's a build that when I first saw it, I just felt wrong. it seems to go against everything else I know or I'm used to with regards to an Archer Rush. So this one only has 1 archery range as opposed to 2, and that's really how you're able to get up so quickly, because you're only having the 1. Now it felt weird to me because from everything I know, it normally says that 2 ranges are the best. Okay, so the next village is going to come and lure the boar in order to mass up the numbers that you need for an effective Archer Rush. But this one just has 1, so my initial thoughts were that it's just going to take forever to get the numbers that you need. So you just saw that another villager came out, went on the boar. At this point it's pretty much a case of all villagers go over to boar or sheep, and there's no wood being collected, no gold at this point. So once the next 2 villagers have come out, we're going to click loom, and then there'll be a little bit of idle time from the town centre whilst we just finish off getting the rest of the food that we need, but then we'll just sort of force drop the food and click up to the fuselage. So it may have around 10 seconds idle time for the town centre. You could possibly add another villager in, I think, if you really wanted to. Change it to a 16 pop version if you're uncomfortable in having idle time, and perhaps you just feel it might be more beneficial to do so. Get the 16th villager in, or 16th population in. But now we've clicked up to the fuselage, we're going to send 7 over to wood with a lumber camp. Should really be sending another 3 over to a straggler tree, but I decided to send them over to sheep. But once that sheep is finished, they'll move over to this one. We're going to send 2 villagers forward to the enemy base. So it's quite a tricky one in terms of you need to be able to find all your resources as quickly as possible. Now I didn't get a chance to scout down there, so I've missed out on those villagers. Because it's such a quick build, you need to know where the enemy is, so that you know which direction to go, because you're building a forward base. So on your way up to where you're planning on making your forward base, make a house. And as you can see, those villagers are on the straggler trees now. They will be moving over to gold pretty soon and making a mining camp there, but we just need to get enough resources together so that we can comfortably make the mining camp and an archery range. So as you'll see, we're just hitting the fuselage now, and we're going to get the archery range down. Probably could have done that a little bit quicker, but and as you can see, they're going out over there now. So first of all, we'll send a villager over to the gold, and we'll also be sending a couple of villagers over to wood before we start looking at trying to get a decent economy going from a food perspective. So do start sending some villagers over. As I said, I kind of changed my mind. Now this is the first time I really had a go at it, so it's not the cleanest of builds, but there we go. Decided to send a couple over to wood now. Eventually those sheep villagers will go over to berries and we'll get a mill, but at the back of the base, or forward base, we're making archers, and we've made a couple of farms there for those forward villagers just to start getting some food in as well. Obviously we've got housed up there, and pretty much in this case it's just a case of you know, we've got some sort of wood economy going now. Just start looking at trying to get some food in at this point. So I don't know whether the enemy player, or my enemy player, was expecting like an early scout rush. I mean, he's started walling up around his buildings now, around his resources now. There is a Khmer 16 pop scout rush, which will feature on the channel at some point. So I think that's what he was expecting, and the main aim of this is to try and prevent them from making the military buildings. So once they get into the feudal age, they'll obviously start trying to make military buildings. Now, ordinarily, most people wouldn't have walled like that. You would be incorporating your military buildings into the wall. Now, that's kind of prevented me from sort of, I mean, I've been able to delay his archery ranges, but it's not had quite the desired effect that I'd have liked. You may find in a lot of multiplayer games they won't have walled up by that point, and certainly won't have walled up like they have done here. So you could be able to get in and distract them, and that's the whole aim of this strategy really. It's just to get some archers out quickly, to delay your opponent, push them off the resources, prevent them from getting the military buildings down, and just getting that map control. So now I've started to get a bit more of an economy together back home. I've been able to get enough wood together to start making a second range, and I can go into full archer production. At this point it's pretty much just do what you want with your economy in line with what you've got planned. So I'm sending more villagers over to gold because I want to go into that sort of full archer production. So I need more on gold than 4. Need generally about 7 or 8 villagers on gold, but being able to pick off a couple of these villagers is able to send some troops out at this point, just to try and counter me a little bit. So he does have a skirmisher, but thankfully I've still got my scout who can deal with that. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of micro having to go on at this point, so you can only imagine what it's like when you're actually playing this game. Whilst you're still trying to get the economy, it's very much like a Drush really. Whilst you're still trying to get your economy together, you're having to micro an army as well, so it can be a bit distracting. But you can kind of just imagine being on the receiving end of this. You're not anywhere necessarily near the feudal age, and you've suddenly got an army on your doorstep. You know, it's starting to harass your economy and generally put you off. So you can quite easily get into full panic mode. I mean, he must be feeling quite happy now. He's got his tower there, but his wood lines, his gold, sorry, is a bit vulnerable. It's not really got much for food economy out, so he's kind of on the back foot at this point, because he was planning on going for archers, but suddenly, you know, whatever he produces, he won't be able to mass up enough to be able to counter this many archers at this early time in the game. So he's having to make a switch to skirmishes, but his economy just isn't set up for it at the moment, so causing him a few issues, to say the least. Now he's moved those 4 villagers from down there because he thought I was probably going to see him, which I didn't. I was obviously too focused on his main eco really, and trying to prevent him from going for the gold. But that was a bit of a mistake there. Got the blacksmith down, which, to be honest, I never got the chance to use it because I knew that he was making skirmishers. So I needed to make a tech switch, or make a switch and go into scouts instead, which, you know, that's the joy of the Khmer. They're very versatile, and you can sort of make the switches because of the good farming bonus. Just makes them a bit more versatile. But at this point we've still got archers coming out, quite a few queued up in there. We've now got some scouts queued up as well, so it's just full feudal aggression. It's very much an all-in strategy, and I think just getting the scouts was going to prove to be a wise move. So as you can see, he's got quite a few skirmishes together now. Now he's been able to get some more farms down. He's started to adjust his economy and react to what's happening. So obviously I've noticed that he's coming to get me with his skirmishers and there's a couple of archers, so I'm just luring him away, luring him back towards my stable, because I know there's going to be some more scouts coming out shortly. So just trying to delay the attack from him, and then I'm just going to launch into an attack with the scouts there and bring the archers back in to start supporting and taking that army out. But in terms of villager counts at this point, I do have a 6 villager lead. He does pull it back because, well, I just wasn't managing my eco very well, I don't think, but he does manage to pull it back a little bit. I was just too busy focusing on the attack here and trying to micro down his army, and the fact that I've got a really big mass of archers together now and there's still more scouts on the way, I was really feeling quite confident in how this game was going. So still got a 5 villager lead, and feeling quite, as I say, feeling quite confident, quite happy how the game is going at this point, and just trying to distract him and, you know, cause a bit of chaos with the scouts there. So distract him over there. I was toying with the idea of bringing the archers down to pick off some villagers around there, but decided better of it and decided to pull them back, get the hill advantage. I mean, I've not got any upgrades on the archers at this point. As I say, all of my resources were going into scouts and things like that. So because I made the switch to scouts, it's a case of just investing the food into there and into the eco upgrades as well that I needed. But just looking back at home, the economy is coming on quite nicely now. I'm getting some farms down. Again, I moved some villagers from there. Ooh, all those idols. Moved some villagers from the gold onto food. But yeah, at this point, just gone in there, found those farmers, killing them off, and it's GG. Okay, so if you enjoy Age of Empires 2 content, you're looking to improve the game, or you're looking to learn and build orders, and start now by subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell notification icon so that you don't miss out on any further uploads.